They call it outside.
Because I told people that
I
you
gave
were
them,
born in the sink.
I found a key to that, and I had it gold plated, and I gave it to somebody, but it's not on the archives.
That's,
I don't know where it is.
Did you give it
I
to
was
Laurie?
born in this house
I don't
here.
know where it is. It's somebody
It must have been
important.
Laurie. She's the
It's
one
not
that runs
there.
it.
Then no one knows where it is.
I was,
Oh, get back. Have a seat. Come on.
Here, Joe, sit there.
Take one of these.
Sit there.
No, we got chairs. We got plenty of chairs. Come on.
All right, I'll go wait. You sit over here. I'm going to take pictures.
Everybody have one of these? Share them if you don't. This is just a little bit of insight on Arabic music and cultural things. I don't really get into a lot of the scales and everything else that goes with it. But what I've compiled here, when I have done talks at museums, when they have mummies, I've been called to, with the groups, to play, and little background music as you have here. So last night I had a qanun, which is like a zither, I'll explain that, and the drum, the durbeki, which is what you see over there. This is called an oud, which is a family of the lute. This came before the lute. We've also played the Ramses exhibit when it came for Queen Farida, who was the King Farouk's wife, queen at the time. She came as an honorary person. And it was, we've been very culturally involved here. Basically what I've done through the years is try to compile little bits and pieces and just give our people and people who don't know a lot about our music a little insight into it. This is basically the first page is what is known as the Middle East. It's self-explanatory. It covers all parts of Arabia, North Africa, parts of Asia, Turkey, Greece, everything intertwined in here. We're all interrelated as far as language. It's all Arabic. The only difference is the dialect. So if you gave somebody no matter where it is, the only thing is the dialect is different. And of course, most of them go by the Quran to learn their Arabic. A lot of Christian. This is a relief painting from the tomb of King A-H-T. It shows you back in the Egyptian days that the instrumentation is basically the same that we have now. This is the bouzou. Greek version is the bouzouki. That's the lyre on the far right. You have somebody playing the flute, which is now the nai. They have that, or mijwiz in our culture. And of course, you had the drum, which was prevalent in most all cultures, rhythm. A resonating instrument is something that is followed out. And what I compiled here, without acoustic guitar is a resonating instrument. And what you have here are different instruments from various countries. If you ever listen to Japanese music, or Chinese music, anytime you ever heard that, or Indian music, you'll sometimes realize, you say, wow, that sounds to us like Arabic. Well, it is, a little bit. I mean, we have a lot of the same tonalities, quarter tones. Instrumentation is in. He was doing his doctorate at BU. And what he did was he wanted to take various people, Chinese, Japanese, American Arabs, American Lebanese people, Syrians, anybody that had a little bit of knowledge of the instruments, and put together a big orchestra. And what he did was he took Chinese and Japanese violinists, which in a second. But the instrumentation here is different. The sounds may sound the same. Down the bottom you have a skull. they took, at the time, you know, cannibalism was, and what they did was they hollowed out the skull and they strung strings across it. It became a resonating instrument. It might have been a ritual, it might have been a religious type of thing. But human bones were part of music. Okay, turn the page. There you have what was next to me last night, or the instrument that was next to me right here. It's the qanun. It's a zither. Okay? There are different zithers in different parts of countries. I don't have my glasses on, but there is our qanun, and there are different types of qanuns in various countries. It's a 75-string instrument. There are 75 strings on it. Now, the gentleman that plays with me, Bruce Rowan, he's a third generation. This is unusual, that's why I'm saying it. He's a third generation American-born Arab person. For some reason, he got involved into the playing of the qanun. And what happens is you don't just go, I think I'll go to my local qanun teacher. So you have to go, when people come to play from New York or whatever, you spend time, you look, you're aware, you buy their tapes, you get everything, and then you finally haunt them until you get lessons, as I did. I haunted people for lessons, and I got hooked up with a very, very wonderful, wonderful gentleman, Freddie Elias, who we all know from our days at the El Morocco, who is a wonderful musician, violin player, we had 5-piece orchestra. But realized the potential that I had. He in turn, I traveled to New Hampshire every week, an hour and a half trip going, an hour and a half coming, snowstorm coming, just to get lessons on this from somebody who was knowledgeable. Bruce was the same. He would get lessons from Lebanese or Syrian people who would come and give him certain techniques. Do this, do that. Now it's not just 75 strings. Each one of the strings on there has 4 switches. They're little tiny things like this called mandals. And what it does, by raising or lowering, he has to, as I do this, he has to put those switches down and up. It's a mathematical thing. If I tell him, and this is what you get from playing with somebody for so many years, we know we're going to go to something else right away, or I tell him I'm going to a particular scale, and then while I take the lead on it, he goes bing, 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 up and down on the particular mandals. Boom, we're in another scale, and then we take solos in that, but he's a very, very intelligent, smart qanun player. But again, let's see, what do we have? Something similar to like the Becky. That would be something like the barrel, okay, hourglass. The dumbag, the Becky that you see used to use when we would go to various dances, they would use milk cans because of if you went to an Armenian dance, they would have the milk can covered with a skin. They would take the top right off, covered with a skin. It would have all the American scales. I can't do them all. There's all the American scales, major and minor. Here, between there and there, there are 8 points. Bruce, the qanun player, can do some of them by flipping a mandal. So there's 8 points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 points. Once again. You want to make a sharp? We can make a quarter tone. And how do you get those? It's all practice. The qanun player can get it by just flipping his mandal and he's in there. A violin player. If I take it down one little depth. just fooling around before with the guys, we can create a little Spanish move. It has decent resonance. My opinion, again, I am partial. Hey! Hey! That's a family show. Of course, we have Paula Booty next to us, smiling over. Good time. No, it's not all. There are many other rhythms. If you're Armenian, that's kashlama. I'll play a little background music while you're walking around. You can hear a couple of rhythms.
Lebanon, the imprisoned splendor. All of them will be here in this area.
Yeah.
One family, that's it. Never forget. Good things you guys do. All of you. The girls. All of you. Oh, yeah. Memory will always, nobody can ever touch it. Nobody will ever touch it. Ever. The alcove. Rosemary Clooney sitting in front of us. Pat Cooper's on doing a thing on 71 about how crazy Frank Sinatra was or something.
Oh, yeah?
The other night.
He's gonna be a fun.
I remember he was right there that night. He was there too.
That was a great night. That was a great night.
All great nights.
How about the beat? Would you like that beat again? I yearn for one of those steak kebabs.
Get it. You can't feel this steak.
From your yeah.
Can you still eat tenderloin? No.
Huh?
Do you have to back off on the meat? You have to back off?
No, why?
You can still make them.
Cut it up fresh. It ain't what it's been in the freezer. It comes out. Get somebody that cuts it all up. It's a whole different ballgame. Did you see that one?
Funny Datrash, I'm surprised. You were in Lebanon, you got in there with him?
I know, good. He was singing.
He's a retired
You heard it on the highway, huh?
Hello, honey. How are you?
Even worse,
How's
Robin.
everything? How you feeling? Feel okay?
You're right. Take a look at the newspaper. For the camera! Gracie! Hey! Hey!
Comes in.
Lady went downstairs. Ladies went down. Oh, what you did so good. Everybody went.
Anybody videotape it? Were you here?
Yeah, the son was sick.
He was just taking a miscellaneous things. He didn't take a picture of a politician. About 15, 20.
Way over there.
Jerry, how's everything going on? Sorry, so it's landing like that. They're building another condo. Did you see it? Not specific, but right next to the, between the right down there.
That's Johnny Smoke.
No, the condo.
This condo's Miami Cove. I am focused. To focus. There's focus and focus. Focus, focus. Hocus pocus. I'm gonna sew it up for you.
I ran on the table over there, but I know what I don't.
She's doing this for posterity.